Hi everybody, hope you all are doing great. Welcome to the yet another episode of the Pinnacle BIM Series. I am Ankit Sharma, working as the social and digital media lead at Pinnacle Infotech, the world leading BIM solution provider. With me today, I have Mr. Vikas and Mr. Sarvesh, two of the very well known delegates in the world of AEC industry. Both of them are having a vast experience of winning bids from the world's most complex BIM projects. As I just mentioned, Mr. Vikas and Mr. Sarvesh have an extensive experience of working in the architectural, construction, and engineering industries for more than 20 years. And today, both of them will be sharing their valuable inputs about the Winner marketing presentations with Pinnacle advantages. So, without delaying it further, I would like to request Mr. Sarvesh to start the session and enlighten us all with the valuable inputs he is here to make today. So, Sarvesh, sir, over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarvesh. I am the BIM specialist and I look after the business development of the Southeast US here at Pinnacle Infotech. I am a civil engineer myself and I did my master's in construction management from USC, University of Southern California in Los Angeles. And I have been working with Pinnacle for about 11 years now. And coming to the presentation, whether you are a business owner, an architect, a general contractor, construction management firm, a developer, home builder, or a BIM enthusiast, you are always looking for ways to distinguish yourself and set yourself apart from others in the industry. We can help you create bid winner marketing presentations. So in this session, we are going to go in details of the what's, the whys, and hows, and the advantages we bring on board with our marketing presentation service. So why is this presentation required? So Vikash, would you like to pitch in your ideas on what we are doing and why we are
Yes,
doing with our customers?
sure. Thank you, Sarvesh. Thank you so much for introducing. And yes, this is a much needed and the way we are progressing in the construction industry. You know, time is money is what we say. And before I start, I'll just give a quick bite about my background. I'm an architect by profession, associated with Pinnacle with almost a decade, and I head architecture and structure division in Jaipur. And now over a decade experience with working with experience across 6 continents, what I feel the need of popularizing digital mockup is something which is much needed, because you see, uh, whether it is a digital mockup or whether pre-bidding presentation, uh, getting yourself aligned into digitization is something much needed in the construction industry. Because you see, as Sarvesh said, means you said just a while ago, for architects, home builders, you know you need to come to a point where people should see what actually, how much value it's going to add. So these days we are hearing about AI, and we are pitching into it now as the presentation progresses. Means I'm so eager today, to share some of my real experience, whether it is subcontinent project in the subcontinent, or other parts of the world, where how we brought difference on the table, and what our clients' feedback was. So, Service, I totally agree with you. The reason and the need for us to let the people who are viewing right now, they should understand why it is required. I know it's not a new world for the new word for the industry, but we today will dive deep into it. How much of ROI we can get out of it by doing this. So Service, this is something I can brief, because if you see 5D cost analysis, 4D is not something which is not uncommon to the people. Everyone knows about it, but 4D with what our approach should be is something, it's high time we need to think on it. So that is what means to start with. I would like to put my point across. So yes.
Of course, I completely agree with you. And we were discussing earlier before this presentation that you were saying that most of your architectural clients they need this for visualization purpose. So that's one of the things, thought sharing. You had also mentioned that you work with general contractors too and home builders, and they generally need this for bid purposes. So if they are bidding on a job, they need this so that
Yes.
they can
And
distinguish.
I'm sorry, means like one point I would like to put in. Like recently we did one, when we were collaborating with German architects, when we were working with German clients, and you won't imagine, even pre-tendering, there is a pre-tendering stage in Germany. Now you need to give how and what actually the project would be about, because even when the GCs are getting into the project, they need to present it to the clients, every if and buts with the options. And we actually facilitated one of the clients. I don't know if time allows, I'll definitely love to share with this. It was a very huge plant project, so that's why I just could not hold up. So you can continue, as and when we get time, we'll definitely discuss about this. So many more
Absolutely.
important. Yeah.
So coming to the variety in the marketing presentations, generally I have seen these kinds of varieties or services that are required by our clients. Generally, they ask for sometimes 2D rendered images, where they provide us a photo of the site or of the building or of the construction, and they expect us to provide a very realistic or photorealistic visual image. It should look good and all. 3D, we will go through these slides one at a time. But yeah, 3D architectural walkthrough. I know your team has done a lot of 3D architectural walkthrough work. And then 360 degree virtual reality images. So you were talking about this at the start, where your team has done about 3 virtual reality images in the last 3 months. So that's always good to hear. You were also talking about your clients using Oculus. That's one of the goggles. But you did mention that the product that or the output that we create, that works with most of the or all of the major manufacturers via goggles. So coming to 4D construction videos and construction phasing and logistics. So we couldn't discuss about this earlier, but if you would like to share about the 4D construction videos and what kind of work that you have done on that, that would be great.
Oh yes, means so World Cup recently ended up, for FIFA World Cup, and that example, nothing could be better than that example. The Lucille Stadium, which we built actually, and I was a part of this project. Almost 4 years I spent, and there was nothing which was not used in the BIM world, which exists, which was not used in this project. Now, means I'm making a very sensitive comment, in the sense, the moment we talk about 4D, often when people feel 4D is nothing but just play a video and you see how and where you're reaching at what stage. Yes, it is, but it is just one part of it. It is just one part of it. What value it brings, because how we actually did offer more of a construction, facilitated our client, for the Lucille Stadium, which was HBK CRCC, where the top bosses, they don't have time, right? And they really wanted to see. This was a fast track project, and and there was a huge commercials involved for any such delay. So how we actually integrated, we did 4D and site logistics parallelly. Now, when I talk about 4D, there were four construction team with more than 9,000 workers working in stadium at any point of time. And we Pinnacle, as a main consultant for the shop drawings and all, had a full responsibility, whether it is execution or showcasing to the client where the progress is heading and where the bottlenecks are. So in 4D, we, apart from architectural and structural elements, we also captured first fix, second and third fix of MEP, because the modularization was very important aspect, and the client was really eager and wanted to understand all the long lead items, when it is gonna come, and how much cubic meter of concrete and how much square meter of block work or AEC panel is being executed at site. So that was very challenging for us, stadium being 235,000 square meter and controlling more than 100,000 of elements at a point of time, and integrating with a CMS program was something very challenging, when we were actually syncing with it. But the end result, because we used to give this once in a month, and the end result was something, you can see we were in a stage to hand over the model and facilitate the construction of the stadium in a record time of 1150 days. There was an instance where COVID struck, and 2 years of construction was actually done during COVID times. And what happened is, there was absolute, I would say, reliance. Everyone had to rely on digital platform, digital media. So sitting at home and just imagining how construction should happen, where the things are, and they had to ensure that construction does not delay. We actually we adopted a method of doing it live on even on web. So and that was supposed to be shared weekly basis with all the consultants and sub-consultant, and the delay lag with cost related to it was actually shared with the planning managers of the construction team. So from there, they were in a position to figure out how much delay and what quantum of what impact it was having, be it monetary wise, be it idealism of resources on site, because there were many things involved, and even 12 tower cranes were actually installed at the site, and effective utilization of tower crane was also one very important aspect. So we actually successfully did a progress monitoring using 4D for tower crane mobilization and demobilization, because you see the stadium had a raker beams, and there was 24 plinth, RC plinth, on which the massive exterior facade of the building existed. So in order to ensure, because these facades were actually being manufactured back in China, all the steel were being imported from the China, and we had to ensure there is no lag, whether construction, precise construction, or installation time. So the installation time had to be there was no compromise. So this 4D was the only tool which actually facilitated all the stakeholders, the big bosses, bosses of this project, to monitor and tighten wherever it is required and figure out what next. So it actually helped them doing decision making. And coming to your point of site logistics, you won't imagine, we actually implemented 3D laser scanning extensively in this particular stadium project, wherein we were in a position to give our contract clients actual how much stockpile calculation, how much stocks are available at site without any manual intervention, and giving them helping them study the natural gradient, be it of the sites and all. So there were so many technologies, is obviously technologies at its best, I would say, which actually facilitated. So means there are many points to be discussed, though means like if time allows, but this is one such a very important example which I really wanted to discuss and bring it forth.
To add to what you said, Vikash, Lucille Stadium construction was going on at peak during the pandemic. So one thing that pandemic has teached us is that the digital world, it is true, and things can be get done using technology. So
and it's a high time service, the way things are progressing, and if we don't adopt the cutting edge technology, you are not gonna compete. And this is something you see in this subcontinent. Now we have a vast experience, more than 30 years. Pinnacle has its proven experience, 30 years in construction industry. We have a saying called construct certainty with technology, and we have been doing this for almost 30 years. But I'll give you a very live example in subcontinent where I must be very honest to say, and people who are watching us, they will admit, people are very reluctant in investing in technology. I'm not talking about investment. I'm more talking about what benefits it bring to you, and what are the savings you people are gonna do. Because you see, we implemented BIM in IIT Bhilai project, full and full. Goa International Airport, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister Mr. Modi, on 18th of October, and nobody knows the history behind this. How much chaotic the construction industry in our subcontinent is, where all different stakeholders, they are not I would say there is no IPD, integrated project delivery mechanism, and it was a pain point for us. So trust me, for Goa Airport we did actually AR and VI, and which actually helped in effective decision making by the government agencies, because people, they don't need to be they don't need to be perfect in BIM. They were able to feel the project. It's no more on paper, it's all live. You can feel, you can walk into the building. They actually walked into the building 1 year back, which people, you see average footfall now in this new airport project. And you see selection, be it Pinnacle finishes, be it all the carousel finishes around those things. And I had an opportunity to go to Goa Airport recently, and it means I was able to feel, and draw parallel, means what we were doing, how we actually 360-degree rendered images and all, and how it actually helped in decision making. So implementation is very important part. We can plan n number of things, but implementation, everything revolves around implementation. And I am very grateful to our clients. They actually did implement it. And if you talk about IIT Bhilai project, I'm very specific to Indian subcontinent, because people need to think and understand. Where we actually implemented digital mockup, and this we are actually doing for many of our US clients, UK and Europe clients also. You see, often when in construction industry, you must have seen that mockup is ready. Prior to any construction, you need to get a mockup approval. Now mockup, say a mock-up room, if you want to prepare, you need to spend lakhs, thousands of dollars, right? And then you need an inspection, team needs to come to site and then visit and then do everything, right? Now, digital mockup, how it actually helped, using Oculus and all, even precise finishes were actually went live through digitally. And veterans from the government industry, they who actually never felt that this could happen, they were actually able to take a call. Yes, this is something which is gonna be used, and which does make sense. And selection of materials, selection of things, so these are something. And apart from subcontinent service, one more point, I am sure, means last time when I visited with you, means when we went to Houston together, to one of our clients, to it was home builders you talked about.
Yeah.
And I was able to see where they were actually presenting and where the clients were approaching, where there were many home builders like Toll Brothers, Perry Homes, Breezer Homes. And I could see, I actually went as a customer, just to see how customer is actually able to make decision. And trust me, when I saw the big screen, I am in Toll Brothers office, and I saw the big screen, and customers were actually touching the screens and changing the options, and they were seeing it live. And trust me, means like I could see people taking decision, people not from BIM and engineering background taking decision, because it is more of a gaming tool, I would say, even for layman in it's like something. So that's actually inspired me, and I means we are really looking forward more of it, means like implementing, educating, and inviting all the industry veterans to look into this subject more seriously, because this is something which is gonna add value and which is going to change the dimensions of the construction industry. Yeah.
Coming to the design options, so I haven't included that in our PPT or in the presentation, but I have seen clients or our home builders providing that option to to their customers, where they tell us, okay, provide me 4 design options with 4 different garages, probably one car garage or 2 car garage, and they provide that option where their customers or the homeowner can actually choose what design option they want, or what color they want, or what kind of brick they want to be to the services that we offer. So starting with 2D rendered photos. So this is just an example that I took from one of my projects that I had done, where you can see the input on the left, just a photo sent by the client, and you can see the output done by us. So we have added some people over there. We have added colors to that, how the end product will look if they do the painting. So that was required, and we did this in less than 8 hours. So like this work requires like 5 hours. So we can knock this out 2 or 3 images for one even if you put one person out of the 2,500 plus people that we have, even if you put one person, we can knock off 2 or 3 of such images. So
you're a master of its service, I know that.
And
Great.
Coming to the 3D computer generated rendered images, so we have done this a lot all across the globe. I know you are a master of this on the Indian subcontinent, even in Middle East, and in US. So coming to the rendered image input, so I have seen we getting input right from hand sketches. So I have included one of the samples in the coming slides, but one of the architects who is based out of Houston had come to our office, and she drew the layout of a residential project on a napkin. So napkin sketch was our input. So right from hand sketches to PDF files or CAD files or redline markups to write up till 3D models is either using SketchUp or Rhino or Revit or ArchiCAD. That's the kind of input that I have seen my team working on or starting the work from. So you can see on the left the kind of input, hand sketch that we have received, and on the right you can see the output that we created from that input. So we are still at rendered images where these are the kind of images that we create, be it recreational facilities or leasing office or an amenities building or single family residences project. I know Vikash, your team has worked a lot on single family residences and multifamily mixed use. Has your team done this kind of work on multifamily projects too?
Oh yes, means like a lot many in California, I would say.
Mhm.
And so you talked about design options. Yes, even rendering, we means where client has requested an options with different materials,
Mhm.
and so these are the few things which are major, I would say, major requirements from our clients across states, I would say. So I guess yes, these for multifamily, it's a very common because it helps in decision making. It helps in approaching up their clients or even to the common people what the things are gonna look like. So this is something very common, I would say, where and we are into it. Means like we have been doing. We have a specialized team who takes care of it.
Absolutely perfect. And so last week I was in San Diego for Bond Multi event. It basically is an event for multi-family or architects who work on multi-family projects. And all of them that I met, and I pitched them this idea, and everyone was in for this. So like they are missing out on this. They want this.
Yes.
So let me show you some more samples of this kind of work, where I think this is the metro station that your team actually worked on in Saudi. Was it Saudi Arabia or where was
Yeah.
this project based out of?
Yeah. It is in Riyadh, I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these were initial rendered, which was requested by our clients, and I would say pre-bidding phase means what the end product would be. So the means I would say yes, and even we developed videos, means like I would say walkthroughs for this. That was even more interesting. Means like yeah.
So I can see the details over here where I can see the shadows and the trees and the roads being done, and I can also see the bridge and everything. And you managed to put a blurred train showing that the train is actually moving. So that's amazing. That's amazing. The kind of output that your team has done on this.
Oh yes, motion, you can see motion in still rendered image.
Yep. So right from government buildings. So this is an example of a government building that we worked on. To veterinary clinics in US. I can see the signage and posts that our team has managed to put on this. So we can make it photorealistic, be it historic projects or historic renovation projects. So the images that we saw, or the rendered images that we saw earlier, were all exterior of the building. I know your team works a lot on creating interior images, which you were telling me takes a lot more time than the exterior images.
Yeah, you see the type of details and the efforts which goes into it. Right from selecting the material finishes, and this particular image which you're displaying it right now, you see, even if you see the minutest of the elements have been addressed, because this is something uh, which the owners or the stakeholders really wanted to see how the things would be, and so we had to pay special care, special attention, I would say, for such, and it does takes good efforts, but the end results always is makes us feel proud whenever
Whenever the
whenever
client
this
wins the bid, yes,
oh yes,
absolutely.
when if so we go by saying, if clients win, we win. So that's why I was like,
Win-win situation. I completely understand. So most of the times client either want the bathroom to be or the restroom to be shown, bathroom for residential project or restroom for commercial projects and office buildings. So these are just examples of the details that we go in, including the mirror and the lightings. Sometimes the specific requirements
Yes.
are
So one
yellow
thing I
lighting
would
or yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One thing I would like to add, you see the countertops, or the means all the granites being shown. So let me tell you very frankly, these have been populated from the Revit models, and now we have actually used plugins to render this live from the Revit model, because we generally we encourage our clients, if you are investing in building a BIM model, you should
Mhm.
you should get maximum out of it. If we are
Absolutely.
actually, we lay a lot stress on the word I in BIM, so information modeling. So the word I means, if I'm putting this particular tiles which you see on the floor, uh, all the images and even the textures which we actually put into the elements are well defined. So it does helps when we are using Lumion and other stuffs in giving you a realistic and a quick, when we have a complete BIM model, getting a quick renders always helps a client for their quick meetings and all. So this is something I really wanted to bring forth, Miss, because we have been doing in Max and all, but yes, for getting quick renders, our model is so complete that you can just get it using Lumion and all. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you did mention about Lumion. I know we also use Enscape. We
Oh,
use 3D Studio Max. What are the other softwares that we use for creating these
so
images?
these days, Enscape is very common way to walk through. Lumion is there, and there are many external third parties. Now, if you see many clients who are still in 2D environment and who rely a lot on SketchUp, you know. So for SketchUp also, we actually we use many rendering tools, plugins for the SketchUp, which actually facilitates a quick renders. Basically to study the design developments, our architects needs it a lot. So wherein we need to actually gel up with their requirements, end requirements, and so yes, if you talk about flexibility of our in-house architects, uh, you know, uh, you just name the software and we have it. So I mean, lists are endless. So, but these are the hot selling cakes, I would say, which are being used extensively. Yeah.
Yep. And I would like to address the listeners too, or the viewers, where I know that Enscape has now started providing add-ins and plugins even for SketchUp that we use. So even if you have a SketchUp model, we can take that. And the good thing with Enscape is that it provides an instant result. The quality affects, I mean, Enscape is getting better, but it cannot match the quality of Lumion or 3D Studio Max. But you have to choose a battle between, the time, how much time that you have uh, to give us to create something like this versus the quality. So
Yes.
we
Absolutely.
can choose, and you can choose that, and we can create the output in that way. Till now we just talked about the 2D rendered images and 3D rendered images. Sometimes our clients are not happy, or they are not satisfied with just 3D rendered images. They want videos of stuff or of the site, or how the site logistics will happen, how generally on school projects or airport projects or hospital projects, they cannot, if it's a renovation project, they cannot shut down the entire hospital for the duration of the project. So some part of the hospital or some part of the school is open, and we need to create an egress or digress path for the parents or for the people who are using that facility. They want to see that visualization before going and demolishing things. So we actually help them in doing that. So this is generally the path or the process that we follow, where the client sends us the requirement and we analyze that requirement. We share the information. So the kind of input that we are getting, we provide them with different pricing options, say a 30 seconds video or a 1 minute animated video showing the logistics or showing how the construction will happen, that ties up to the 4D that Vikas was telling or talking about earlier. Coming to logistics, so how we will manage things, where the site material will come, what amount of material will come, and then we create drafts. So at any given time, the client has the flexibility of telling us what to do and how to do it. So we provide 3 or 4 different drafts to our client, and they can choose which particular draft they prefer, and then we provide the final product. So in this example, this is actually a project in Berlin, Germany, called Quartier Hedestrasse, and this was, I believe, done in 2019 for Transcon International. And so the input again can be anything. So this was the input on this particular job. They had provided us the contour layouts and contour plans and visualizations input from email. So they used to literally type things that the questions that we used to ask on, okay, how you are going to do the construction on this particular area, and they used to explain this either via email, or we used to have phone calls or online meetings, and they showed the path or how the demolition will happen and what will be the path that they will be taking during the demolition or construction of a particular area. So they showed that using different markups and different editings, and you can see the end result over here that we had shown to our client. You can see the temporary parking that we had done, and you can see the yellow thing is the egress part, the school emergency egress. The pink thing is the school egress path, and you can see the construction happening. So the building that you are seeing right now, that will be demolished at a later stage, but you can see the temporary boiler plant, and then we have demolished the boiler plant. So over here you can see we can show you the complete logistics of how the construction will happen, when what material or what amount of quantity of material will come, where it will be stored. So we show all of that. Right now we are in the second phase of construction. You can see the traffic lines for school bus and delivery trucks and passenger vehicles using different color coding legends. And you can see the demolition happening now of the school.
That's really fascinating, like seeing a VR in a video.
Absolutely.
And it helps a lot in decision making, I would say. So this is the first, I would start phase for any construction, lay down identifying site logistics and all, because the bigger the site is, it becomes more challenging. So it's fantastic service. Means like this is something which was really very, nice to see. Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, on one of the projects that we worked on in New York, one of the issues that the client was facing was how to bring the trailer, the big trucks on the site, because there was not enough space. So we actually helped them visualize things and help them solve the issue. So this definitely helps.
Great.
Coming to walkthrough and fly-through inputs, I know we have already discussed about this, and you actually shared your inputs from the Lusail Stadium and the Indian projects that you have worked on. So, the client generally provide us with the path that, or generally in 3D walkthrough videos, the path is predetermined from where we will start the video, how much amount of exterior that will show, and when we will go in the interior. So can you tell more about this and go in a brief detail? I know we are running out of time, so.
Sure, I'll quickly give a bite into this. Is walk through input when we talk about identifying the crucial areas where our team actually sync with our clients. Maybe in this particular area, if you see, basically if you talk about say any hotel or any areas where concierge and lobby and other items needs to be taken care, those areas are first marked out in after consulting with the clients and giving them the camera angles and all what actually they need, because what are the selling points is our clients are the decision makers, and we actually help, rather assist them in ex, exploiting it to the maximum to bring most out of it. So the red one, what you see, the path and all, so it's all around lobby and then entering into one particular area to understand the flow, to understand the finishes as the people move around it, how they are gonna feel. So it's like it's giving them the feel, make a feel of as you walk into the building. So this is something, it's like how we generally work with them. Yeah.
And in this particular example, the client has just provided us a markup on one of the layout, and we have created the output. So
Oh yes.
um, I would like to share. Let me first mute the volume. And so this is a university project that we have worked on in US for a general contractor who was bidding on the job. And since he was bidding, his budget was very limited because he was not sure if he will actually win the job or not. And he had to present this to the university or to the owner uh, in about 2 weeks of time. So he had given us 1.5 weeks to create this. You can see a part of the blurred area in the site is the Google Maps image, and then we have also created the site layout. So we did complete this in 1.5 weeks, and our input was PDF set of drawings, a 50% DD set to be precise. And from there, we first created a 3D model in Revit, and then created this animated video in 3D Studio Max showing the exterior and the interior. So you just saw the exterior, now we are seeing the interior. Yeah, so that's the performing arts building in the university. Now, all the details that you are seeing in the interior, including the lighting fixtures and the handrails and the textures and the finishes, all that information was not available on the 50% DD set provided by the client. So we had a kickoff meeting with the client, asked him the right set of questions, or literally grilled him with our questions and tried to understand his requirement. And this is all as per his imagination.
So, Sarvesh,
And
this is
yeah,
very important, interesting. I would say that you brought up a very interesting point. Grilled the client. Because you see, we are having only licensed architects and engineers, right? And understanding design intent is something very important for. And right now, this is what the value we bring as a team. Understanding the complex detail and the way you said, limited time with less of the input, and then figuring out what it could be. So it's like
absolutely.
adopting the project as your own baby. Then you can get this sort of result. I would say. So this is which we generally, I would say, we stress a lot, and we really take the project as our own baby. So this is something masterpiece, I would say, service from your team, because
Yep.
you see, you are saying LOD means like in 1.5 week. This is a fantastic output, I would say. Fantastic.
And we had charged the client about $4,500 for the 3D model as well as this walkthrough animated video. And so all the MEP elements that you see, they are very generic over
Wow.
here. And in a minute or in a sec, you will see the night view as we zoom out of the building. So
Simply
I
amazing.
wanted to show that to you. So that's the night view.
Amazing. Amazing. And you see how the lights and all things are, means this is simply amazing. It's like turn around in 1.5 week is simply amazing. Great. It's like great job, I would say, Savish. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know the Lucille Stadium that you had shown us, that was way better than what I have shown right now. Unfortunately, I didn't include that in my slide. So probably, to the listeners who reach out to us, we have our contact information at the last slide. We can definitely send them the Lucille Stadium
Oh yes.
3D
So
and 4D. Probably the 4D video that you have created, that blew my mind. So
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely, Service. There are many items now with our presence in 6 continents, uh, be it Asia Pacific, be it UK, Ireland, US, any areas, and the range of services, especially if today we are talking about the marketing bid presentation, it's growing like hell. And even like though I talked about few of the instances for India subcontinent, because I really wanted to bring forth to all the people across the globe that even if you're the fraternities where the teams are a bit reluctant of using the technologies are now getting into it, because they are actually able to evaluate the ROI in the initial. So this is something simply amazing. And today's discussion surveys with you, I know it's late there in US, and but still thank you so much for bringing those things, and it was really insightful. Ankit has actually limited us. We really wanted to drag this for another 4 hours because we really wanted to bring forth many examples live. But yes, as you said, people can reach out to the details, and we will be more happy to connect and show them personally.
Yep.
Definitely.
And I know Ankit has hinted me that we are running out of time, so I will just quickly show. I wanted to show this residential project that we had done. As I said earlier, the architect had come to our office and she drew the layout on a napkin. So I wanted to show the output. Again, this was done in SketchUp, and the quality was not important to the
So I
architect.
guess, Sarvesh, this video is not playing somehow. I don't know.
I will start. I will start
Oh,
it.
okay.
I will start it.
Okay.
So the quality was not important for the client. It was just to provide a visualization to her customer. So this was done in a day in SketchUp, probably a $1,200 job from napkin sketch. Again, it was a residential project, so all levels were typical.
Oh wow! So that's why we generally say you build relations, right?
Exactly.
we win clients. So this is something. This is out of
yeah.
relations, you could say.
Yep. So
Wow.
you can see the drawings we have shown. That really helped, our client bag that job. So
presentation is simply amazing. Half of the work is done with the presentation, and
absolutely.
this is simply amazing.
So you can see the quality is not good at all, but it was more for visualization purpose. So I also wanted to show that. Coming to a 360-degree virtual reality ready images. So one of the issues that our client face with animated fly-through or walk-through video is the path is predetermined. So the only thing that they can do during the video, when the video is playing, is they can stop at a certain particular location and explain to their clients, but they cannot just move around and show, rotate the camera 360 degree and show, or 180 degree and show what's on the other side. So that is where the VR images or videos come into the picture. So I know your team has done an extensive work on VR. You were also talking about Oculus. So please go ahead as the video is playing.
Yeah, sure. Service means like this is a perfect example of what we discussed a while ago. One recently, landmark project which I was discussing about, the airport project where we actually did this, and client decision, it helped in decision making. You see, you walk into the building and you understand what the finishes, what the carpet tile, how it would look like prior to ordering or prior to selection. Digital mockup is something definitely we in this industry we should start promoting, because it does helps our stakeholders with with the investment, minimum investment in technology, and getting maximum out of it. You don't need to build things which you have to demolish down the line. Why? Let's take the help of technology. Let's start getting into digital mock-up stuffs, and it makes decision making more smarter, I would say. That is
absolutely,
I would say. Yeah,
I completely agree with you on that. Now, another service that we provide to general contractors and subcontractors is a 4D phasing, where we can help them visualize what was the planned construction schedule and what is the actual construction schedule, and which particular trade contractor or segment contractor is lagging behind by how much. So in this example, you can see On the left, that was the plan status before the construction went. And then on the right, you can see the actual construction status with that particular floor. We have used color indications to show which contractor is lagging behind by how much. So we can do this on a monthly or a weekly or even quarterly basis. So I know you did this on the Lusail Stadium project.
Yeah, absolutely. Means like it's not only Lusail, means like major of the GCs with whom we work across the globe. This is something requirement of the project, because you see, utilizing BIM, and then timeline is very important, because and understanding where the project is heading, because these days 4Ds and 5Ds are being used as more of a progress monitoring. You monitor the progress, and you can actually figure out where the bottlenecks are. So it does helps in decision making in terms of where you need to buckle up, where you can sit and relax, where things are going fine. So this is something. Sorry.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the input along with the drawings, we can. I mean, now we have AIs. You were talking about AIs. So now we have artificial intelligence softwares who can create the construction schedule with different CPMs or critical path methods. But the input can be, or the construction schedule input can be anything from Excel sheet to a PDF document to Microsoft project or P6, Primavera, and we can link the individual activities or tasks in the construction schedule with the corresponding elements or items or objects in the 3D model, and you can see the building being constructed against time. So I do have a video of that, but in this particular example, we have made sure that the crane movement it is not coinciding or it is not interfering with other cranes that are on the project. So over here, you can see we have about 5 cranes on this particular project that is being used. So the client had provided us the height at a particular time in the construction of the cranes, and we actually modeled the crane as per the exact specification to make sure that there are no clashes anywhere. So the client could visualize that, or we could help the client visualize that there won't be any issue on the site, and if there is any, they can change it. So
Service, this is very important, because for high rise and other buildings, such tower cranes decision becomes very crucial, and we had a hard time in many projects. Now these things are getting resolved with these technologies getting in. Decision making becomes so easy, and understanding, say, you'd see the swing of the crane or the lifts of the crane, because it's all interrelated with their construction planner and their program manager, where how they will do mobilization and demobilization of their workers at site, of the construction team at site, and even to some extent shuttering, because you see scaffolding involves a hell lot of investment, a per day rental charges, or it's so high. So these effective decision making is a real time need for construction fraternity, because it is something, it does helps the execution team. Yeah,
even the cost, on the Jeddah Tower or Kingdom Tower project, which is now Jeddah Tower, which will be the tallest tower in the world, more bigger or taller than the Burj Khalifa. Renting cost of the crane, how much time they need the crane, this helped them visualize that. So I also wanted to quickly play this video of the output. So over here, you can see the project construction duration is about 4 years, and you can visualize these things. So on the top, you can see the yellow bar moving ahead, and the construction being happening, or the elements or the items being constructed. So,
simply amazing. Yeah.
Let me try and reduce the volume. But I do believe I was able to give a glimpse of the Lusail Stadium or the FIFA World Cup project. Coming to FIFA, FIFA is coming in 2026 in US.
Oh,
So
wow.
so we are working, or we are trying to get that work too. But these are the stadiums that we had worked on. So in the 2022 FIFA.
It is so close to my heart, Service, this project. You know,
I wish I could.
it's a dream come true, I would say. And, dream come true means when you see this thing, Master Beauty Piece live, means it's simply amazing. Means
Yeah, but the viewers can see that we have worked on parking stations and parking garages and metro stations and ISF camp projects. So again, to everyone who wants that Lusail Stadium, we have kept that exclusive, the 4D video. Just reach out to us and we will send you that link. Or you can go and find it on YouTube. We have put that on our company's YouTube page. So this is the stadium in Qatar, the El Bayt Stadium, and then the George Bush Airport in Houston. And so we are just trying to show that we have worked on all kind of projects. That includes hotel or hospitals or airports or residential complex. And we work all across the globe in all the continents as of now. So that was the 4D part. And you did mention that 5D is also used nowadays as more of a project management tool. So I do have a 5D video, which we did in Alabama in US for a general contractor who was bidding on the job. So this is an ER room or a hospital project that we did in 15 months duration. And over here, you can see the 3D, 4D, and 5D all combined. So at the top, you can see the 3D walkthrough happening. And below that, in the middle, you can see the 4D construction, where you can see the 15 months duration and the yellow bar moving towards the right. So right now, we are approaching the 4th month. We are ending the 3rd month of construction and approaching the 4th month of construction. And below that, you can see the cumulative and the monthly cost curves. In this particular example, these are the projected cost curves, but I know that we have worked on projects where these were the actual cost curves, and we have also shown the planned versus the actual cost at a particular time in the duration of the project. So in this particular example, the client's budget was very limited. So you will see in a minute that we haven't modeled the interior at all. The client still wanted to show what's in interior or what's the different departments in the interior. So we have just used different color legends to show that. So let me skip this a bit. I know we are running out of time right now.
Oh, these are some very interesting aspect, and I guess these should be frequently shared means across, because people should benefit.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you can see the interior department legends that we have used without modeling the interior. So you have to tell us what's the price point that you have in mind, and we can make things work.
Space planning, perfect space planning, I would say.
Now, these are some of the projects that we have successfully completed in the past. And these are some of the client testimonials from our end.
So thank you, Mr. Sarvesh and Mr. Vikas, for joining us today. As we can see in the comments, these insights and your thoughts over the same are here to make an impact that will last for the longer time. So now I would like to conclude the session with a thank you note for our audiences. Also, if anyone from the audiences have any thoughts and wants to reach out to us, please make sure to reach out to us at pinnacleinfotech.com, or also you can reach out to us on our social media handles as well. So thank you everybody for joining us today. Looking forward to see you again in the next Pinnacle BIM series episode. So thank you, sir. Thank you everybody in our audience as well.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarvesh. You have a good night.